Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Adelia Kirchner. I'm one of the writers here at the Tennessee Conservative, and today I'm filling in for Brandon Lewis as we cover some of the hottest news stories of the week. I don't know. Out-of-state groups spending millions of dollars to oust some of our state's actual conservative legislators, or the Tennessee Election Finance Board subpoenaing constitutional Republicans members because they don't like the results of the Attorney General's investigation into the group. But real quick before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our free daily e-newsletter. Just text news to 423-205-5600. That is news to 423-205-5600. You can also follow us on the social media platforms where we have not yet been shadow banned. That includes X, formerly known as Twitter, Gab, Getter, Truth, Rumble, and MeWe. Alright. First story of the day, we have out-of-state groups spend millions to oust some of Tennessee's most conservative legislators. Out-of-state groups are spending millions to unseat two of Tennessee's most conservative elected officials, Senator Frank Nicely and Representative Brian Ritchie, who is a candidate for Tennessee Senate District 2. One organization, Club for Growth, is gunning in particular for Nicely and Ritchie, and the group's political action committee, the School Freedom Fund, has earmarked $3.6 million for the legislative races in Tennessee, with the aim of supporting candidates who staunchly favor school choice, school vouchers for private schools, also a top priority of Governor Bill Lee. Nicely has said that the PAC's ads calling him a liberal are lies, and he believes he is being targeted by school choice supporter and billionaire Jeff Yass, who has a significant stake, worth about $21 billion, in Chinese company ByteDance, the parent company of TikTok. Yass has donated $16 million to Club for Growth. While ByteDance's educational investments include K-12, higher education, competency-based education, and vocational education, the company invests the most heavily in K-12. Nicely, who is cautious about supporting vouchers, believing it will raise taxes, says this is the first time he has had out-of-state groups attack him. Nicely believes that a bill he sponsored preventing China, North Korea, Venezuela, among others, from buying land in Tennessee may have upset Yass, as ByteDance is the Chinese owner of TikTok. Along with opposing Nicely in his Senate District 8 race, School Freedom Fund is also opposing Brian Ritchie in his bid for Senate District 2, while they are supporting three other candidates: Jason Emmert in the House District 20 race, Lee Reeves in House District 65, and Aaron Marbury in House District 68. So if that gives you any ideas on who to vote for this August, there you go. Alright. Our next story is Tennessee Election Finance Board to subpoena members of constitutional Republicans. Dissatisfied with a Tennessee Attorney General's investigation, the Registry of Election Finance is set to subpoena members of two constitutional Republican groups to have them explain how they operate without registering as a political action committee. The Registry Board voted Tuesday to order members of the Tennessee and Sumner County Constitutional Republicans to answer questions about their political activity at an upcoming show cause hearing. Registry Board members requested the Attorney General's office to investigate the matter in February, and in late June, they received the results. The report amounted to short interviews in which 4 members denied raising or spending money for candidates. Co-founder Chris Spencer, who is challenging Republican Senator Farrell Hale in the August 1st primary, caught the ire of some board members because he told the AG's office investigator after being asked about monthly meetings and refreshments, "I am done with questions. This is such a waste of time." Kurt Riley, another co-founder, said in his interview that breakfasts were free and that the sale of Tennessee Constitutional Republicans merchandise did not benefit candidates or the group's platform. Registry member Tom Lawless stated that if subpoenaed members of the Constitutional Republicans declined to testify before the board, it could take corrective actions. So there's that.
Go get your Tennessee voter guide. Look at this puppy. Page after page of information on who you can vote for that actually has a conservative record. And while you're looking at that puppy, check this one out too, the Rhino Report. Now this is the one that the folks in the Rhino caucuses up in Nashville really hate when I put out. You know why? Because what it does is it shows all these terrible, awful votes that so many of these corporately funded rhinos make, and they think that you ain't ever going to see it. But because Mr. Vaughn and so many in our staff and myself go digging through the committee meetings, you can know who's a rhino and who is a true conservative, guys. That is total excitement.
Next story of the day is attempt to secure elections in Tennessee stymied by Democrat outrage. I know words. Okay. Inconsistencies found between voter rolls and information from the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security prompted the state's coordinator of elections to send out 14,000 letters in a bid to secure the state's elections earlier this year. The letter from Coordinator of Elections Mark Goines noted that the recipient's voter information matched with individuals who may not have been United States citizens at the time of obtaining a Tennessee driver's license or ID card and gave an opportunity to confirm citizenship. The Division of Elections received proof of United States citizenship from a little over 3,000 Tennesseans, and 307 people in all asked to be removed from the state's voter rolls. Nowhere in the letter was it stated that providing proof of citizenship was mandatory, but leaders of the Democratic Party in the Tennessee General Assembly were nevertheless outraged, and the American Civil Liberties Union Foundation threatened a lawsuit. The ACLU told the state late last month that it planned to sue unless state officials clarified to voters that they could not lose their voter registration if they chose to ignore the letter. State officials sent a follow-up letter in response. The June 13th letter gave people the option to update their records. It did not threaten to remove a person from the voter list if a person does not respond to the June 13th letter, wrote Goines. No one will be removed from a voting list for not responding to the June 13th letter. Those Tennesseans who did provide the state with documentation proving citizenship received a letter from the Secretary of State that encouraged them to vote in the upcoming primary on August 1st and election on November 5th of this year. All right. Governor Lee agrees to remove those convicted of aggravated prostitution from sex offender registry in response to ACLU lawsuit. As of this month, the state of Tennessee will begin the process of removing those who have been previously convicted of aggravated prostitution from the state's sex offender registry, where they have been listed due to their HIV status upon conviction. The law was enacted in 1991 and added the aggravated enhancement to the prostitution charge for those who knowingly were engaging in sexual activity, exposing those whom they encountered to HIV. This charge was also elevated to a felony from a misdemeanor. In 2010, the law was fortified again when legislators reclassified prostitution while HIV positive as a violent sex offense. This classification compelled those convicted to be included on the state sex offender registry for life due to the dangerous nature of the disease and the possible fatal consequences from even a single encounter. Both the ACLU and the Department of Justice have taken the state of Tennessee to court, challenging the law and arguing that convictions for HIV status violates the Americans with Disabilities Act. This month, to settle the suit, Governor Bill Lee agreed to removal of all those who had been added to the registry for aggravated prostitution, despite many having already been removed because their prostitution charges were the product of human trafficking or compulsion of the act for other reasons that were outside of the control of the person being charged. The settlement agreement has been approved by AG Stymied's office, and the TBI said it would comb through the state's sex offender registry to find those added solely because of aggravated prostitution convictions, then send letters alerting those people that they can make a written request to be removed.
If you appreciate what we do, go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support. And if you give any amount, and I'm going to talk to you about this a little bit later, we're sending out some of these Tennessee for Trump bumper stickers. So if you want to get your hand on this Tennessee for Trump bumper sticker and a few other goodies, as I will talk about later, go to the website, hit that support button, and you can also hit the subscribe button to get our e-newsletter, because if you ain't getting that, you're missing out.
All right. Federal Appeals Court dismisses challenge to constitutionality of Tennessee law banning drag shows with no age restrictions. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals has overturned a lower court's ruling stating that the Tennessee law that age restricts drag shows is not unconstitutional, and that the drag troupe in Memphis who filed the lawsuit, Friends of George's, does not have standing to sue. Attorney General Jonathan Stymied said the Entertainment Act has been misrepresented since it became law. Stymied said, as a state overflowing with world-class artists and musicians, Tennessee respects the right to free expression. But, as the court noted, Tennessee's harmful to minors standard is constitutionally sound, and Tennessee can absolutely prohibit the exhibition of obscene material to children. For now, it seems the law will go into effect, and venues will now have to take careful consideration when booking productions that include drag performances, without also including an age limitation to go along with them. Sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds like good news to me. Okay. Next we have Knoxville man sentenced to 20 years for providing aid to ISIS. Oh boy. A Knoxville man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for working with the Islamic State group, helping to disseminate terrorist propaganda. 34-year-old Benjamin Carpenter was found guilty last year of assisting ISIS by providing them with information as well as translating and publishing pro-ISIS materials. He also disseminated weekly pro-ISIS information and called for war against the United States and celebrated the deaths of American soldiers. Sounds like patriotic to me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. Okay, we have, and then it goes on, it says, Assistant Attorney General Matthew G. Olson said, for years this defendant led a global digital media operation to distribute pro-ISIS propaganda, promoting the group's radical message of terror and pushing it to every corner of the world. He continued, today's sentence reflects the seriousness of this defendant's conduct and the Justice Department's commitment to identifying and holding accountable those who would provide material support to foreign terrorist organizations. After Carpenter completes the 20-year sentence, he will also serve 20 years of supervised release. Okay, last story of the day is private prison operator holds close ties with lawmakers as it sidesteps Tennessee law. Flush with donations from Core Civic, Tennessee's lawmakers have made changes to the law that are expected to put Brentwood-based Core Civic, a national prison operator, in better position to continue to exploit a little-known state loophole that allows it to run 4 Tennessee prisons. The company contracts with Tennessee to run one of its prisons and has deals with 2 local governments to operate 3 other state prisons. The agreement has allowed Core Civic to circumvent the original state law, enabling it to make $233 million last year from its Tennessee prison contracts. Overall, in 2023, Core Civic generated about $1.9 billion in revenue through state and federal contracts. Since 2009, the company has given $138,000 to Republican Party and caucus political action committees and $7,500 to the Tennessee Democratic Caucus. Top Republican recipients include Governor Bill Lee at $69,000, Lieutenant Governor Brandy McNally at $65,000, House Speaker Cameron Sexton at $44,500, Senate Republican Caucus Chairman Ken Yeager at $17,500, and Senator Farrell Hale at $14,500, and House Republican Majority Leader William Lambert at $14,250. Other recipients include Republicans, Senate Republican Majority Leader Jack Johnson, Senators Joey Hensley, Ed Jackson, and Bo Watson, and Representatives Bud Holsey and Mary Littleton. But that's about all I've got for y'all today. If you want the full and complete rundown on any or all of our Big 7 stories of the week, check out the links in the description below or head straight to TennesseeConservativeNews.com. If you like what we're doing and you want us to keep it up, you want us to keep functioning, you want us to get that brand new shiny website that will actually load the news stories and, not shut down on y'all when you really want to read something, just go and click the donate button to support our cause. It's a red support button. It's red, It's saying, hey, click me. Okay, anyways, while you're on our website, you can also hit that green subscribe button to subscribe to our free weekday newsletter. That way you get a nice little email every weekday that fills you in on our big news stories of the day. Also, don't forget to check out the Tennessee Conservative Podcast on your favorite platform and leave us a 5-star review. As always, your listenership is appreciated, your readership is appreciated, and we will be back next week with another Big 7.